Day 12, things are still looking a bit swollen, but I really feel that my movement is starting to come along. Every morning I'm trying to do at least half an hour of very slow walking around the block with the use of my crutches, and at least that means it's a positive start to the day. We're going to do 2 exercises, so let's go. So the first exercise sees us with our feet parallel under our hips. We're going to put our hands on our hips and draw our elbows back behind so the chest goes out nicely, and of course we balance everything out by a gentle backward motion of the abdomen moving into our bodies. That means we've got this kind of puffed out chest and everything's looking lovely and broad and it's easier to breathe. From there we're just going to bend both our legs a little bit. And as we do so, the bottom will come out just a little bit and maybe we'll bring the chest out further, and we keep the elbows coming back. The head remains in line. Now you can try and go down as far as you can. I can't go down very far naturally anyhow, but I feel a great deal of restriction in the swollen leg. So I just want to feel that restriction without pushing too much. What I can think of though is separating the toes, and as I bend my legs, the other thing I want to think about in terms of my feet is to not let the heels slide in or out. What do I mean by that? Just come up. Often when we bend our legs like so, the heels start to slide in this way. We want to keep our feet parallel. So there's going to be a certain amount of work to expect on your feet. The other thing I want to remind you of is that your knees should be moving over your toes, so don't let this kind of knock-kneed movement occur. So those are the things to watch. As we bend our legs, our heels are glued to the spot, our feet remain parallel, the knees are moving over the toes, elbows back, and we breathe. And then when we come up, we can just really straighten quite strongly our legs, making sure that our hips are still in line with our feet. The chest is moving out, and we have a strong lower abdomen. And then we can do the bending again. So monitoring the feet, making sure that they stay put. We come down as much or as little. Elbows go back, chest forward, head in line with the back. Spread your toes. Try and get as much space between the toes as possible. The other thing you can do is actually lift your toes off the ground, because that adds a little bit of spice to what's happening in the legs. And then you can come up and straighten your legs again. And as you straighten your legs, don't think of pushing the knee back. You probably don't want to think of doing that anyhow. But you want to think of drawing up the kneecaps towards the head. And one more time, we just bend the legs, knees over the feet. If you want to lift your toes, you can. And then you can straighten your legs. The kneecaps are being drawn up by the quadriceps and coming up towards the ceiling. So the second exercise sees you close to a wall, either with your heels actually touching or 1 or 2 centimeters away. And that just means your balance can be supported at all times. So you can have your fingertips just gently touching the wall behind you. Now what we're going to do is we're going to, like the last exercise, take those kneecaps and bring them with the quadriceps all the way up to the ceiling. And then you can bend one leg, putting all the weight on the other leg. And then come and place the heel on the chair. Now, the chair height can be as high or as low as you see fit. Now this is my good leg, so I'm putting the weight on my compromised leg. And at all times that lower abdomen is moving towards the wall and my chest is coming forward. To help with that action, I can also just gently put my elbows on the wall, bringing my chest forward, as you can see. And then as I bend this leg to come out, the energy still moves. I don't want to collapse down, but I keep on moving up as my leg comes down. And that will ensure that I don't collapse onto, in this case, my compromised leg. The other side now. So get your set up, lower belly coming in, chest crowd. If you need to, you can help yourself with just a little bit of elbow work against the wall. Your shoulders don't touch, your scapula don't touch the wall. Your bottom does touch the wall, however. Okay, and then from there, this time I'm bending my compromised leg. So this is a much more painful task. Painful is a bit of an exaggeration, but certainly it's more difficult. And then I can extend that leg. It's really important that both feet are active, and by that I mean the toes of the supported foot going up to the ceiling. You can also here spread the toes to energize your legs even more. And then you return to the torso, which helps in terms of overall body stabilization. And then when we come back, as we bend that leg, we've got to work the torso even more. So the solar plexus moves up, and I keep on moving up with my whole torso as my leg comes down. Now I can go back to the first side and make that harder. So I'm now standing on my hurt leg. Get my torso in position, and then from there, with my supported leg, very active, I can actually lift it 1 or 2 centimeters off the chair. So I'm really activating the muscles in the front leg, and then I can come down. Bend, and as I come down with the leg, I'm still coming up with my torso. I'm now going to do the same thing with the other leg, so bending my hurt leg and then bring it on. Now I'm not going to be able to lift this. This is way too swollen still, way too heavy. And I have this kind of brain freeze going on insofar as I can't seem to communicate this movement to my leg. I just can't. Now that's quite normal. It's also an interesting position to be in. So all you do is try and nothing may happen, but it's more of a kind of let's make the neural connections kind of situation, yeah? And in itself it's quite positive. So if you can't do it, it's not a problem, nor can I. I try. And then I can come down. And as I come down slowly and feel this dual movement going on. See you tomorrow.